Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. Get some weed and now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. It's been a while since I've had to say that, baby. It's been like almost 6 months, 5 months since we put out an episode that was recorded by me and you, Joe. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
What up, what up? It is always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. We have not been gone, obviously. Sure. If you are a listener of the Penny Bloom Podcast, you've almost certainly heard of our other shows, The Cinementalists and Fire Pod with me, a Twin Peaks podcast, both of which are doing really well. Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast, comes back this week because Andor Season 2 premieres tomorrow. We've got a lot to look forward to. I'm very, very excited. But we are reconvening to discuss Daredevil Born Again, the new MCU show, the debut of Matt Murdock in the MCU officially. I know he was in No Way Home and he's been in She-Hulk and everything, but now it's Daredevil time, baby. How are you feeling about it on the other side of things here?
Oh, man. I was in a not a good place with Marvel, I would say. And even, surprisingly, this show. Like, a lover of the Netflix series and everything that the show had to stand for. And even then, I'm like, it's made in this era of Marvel. I didn't know how good it can be, and then all the rewrites, everything just going through. I'm like, okay, there was just a lot going on. And then every week, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, oh, weird. This is actually something special here. Like this rewrite, I'm glad they did the rewrites. I don't know if I want to know what it was like at first, because this is all I want to know as season 4 or whatever to call this season. I don't know, but man, I did not think that it could be this good. Not Game of Thrones level. I don't think this is but.
I don't think it's a really, really good Marvel show, you know? And I do think that's about as far as I'll take it. You know, I do love it. I had a great time week to week. You know, genuine excitement every week waiting for Daredevil Born Again, getting to watch it weekly for a few weeks was so much fun. It was so great to see Charlie Cox back as Matt Murdock. He is so fucking good as that character. I absolutely adore it. I love John Bernthal as Punisher. He is so good as Frank Castle. Vincent D'Onofrio is obviously incredible as Wilson Fisk. This is the first time we've seen him since Echo, and he was great in that as well. But it was just nice. It was nice. It felt like a return to form a little bit, and I really, really did enjoy it. I think that it did a lot of Matt Murdock shit. It did a lot of Daredevil stuff that you want to see Daredevil do. We got some real lawyer Matt Murdock stuff. He spent a lot of the season not being Daredevil, which actually made for better TV. You know, we get the court drama stuff with Hector Ayala, which makes it incredible. We get a one-off episode where he's in the bank robbery. That's incredible. It's just, there's a lot to like here, and I think that beginning to end, it's really satisfying. It does feel like a part 1. It feels like the first half of something. Yeah, you know, knowing that this was originally slated for 18 episodes and this is 9.
Breaks my heart. Yeah,
breaks my heart. But you can tell that they decided they were just going to split that essentially and make it season 1 and season 2. I do think that it's going to end up working. You know, I think we leave this season in a really, really good place. I think that the build up to that ending was utterly incredible, and I think that what's to come after is going to be even better. Everything set in New York for the next couple years is going to be fun, and if it's not dealing with this,
Yeah. I didn't think of Spidey until just now, of like how, at least in the video games, Fisk is like the guy, or I don't, and in Spider-Verse, I don't know, is like Fisk is like one of his biggest enemies that he has to deal with. I don't know, and yeah, I can't believe that didn't hit me until now. But yeah, it is. I'm glad that we did spend a lot of the time out of the suit, because I feel like now, next season or part,
we're almost
is going to be a lot of him in
it.
the suit.
Yeah,
he's going to be, and maybe him walking out of like in the bar. I forget the name of the. Oh my god.
Yeah, I forgot.
But the like, I feel like he's kind of like revealing himself a little bit, where he's like. I hope, I don't know. I feel like that's coming, sort of thing.
Yeah,
like
I thought he was about to take his mask off and show who he was to that group of people. To kind of be like, I need you to trust me, I trust you, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I wonder if they'll actually do that. Like, I wonder if he'll actually get to that point of unmasking and just fighting as, but I feel like it's it's part of his suit. He just doesn't. I don't know. He'll be theoretically unmasked or metaphorically unmasked, and people will just know who he is. But then, can he be a lawyer anymore? Is like, does that She-Hulk is a lawyer, and people know, is like, so it's like, it's an interesting, like, does he have to throw away his normal life to fully become Daredevil if he wants to kind of unmask himself, or can he do both, sort of thing. And I think they're playing a lot more with the character of Daredevil here, because like, maybe my one gripe is like, I wish there was more Foggy and Karen, but Foggy happened to get sniped, and oh my god, that was a crazy moment to week one just to go through.
Yeah, like
so obviously
15 minutes in.
Yeah, so obviously he's gone. But Karen, just kind of was like, well, you're not Daredevil anymore. I'm at it. It's like, you're not Matt. And obviously she's going through shit. It's like, I kind of wish there was more just whatever she was doing. I don't know, like if she's gone, but I wish the audience could have stuck with her a little bit, just so that we got more Karen. But she came back, which was nice. We got her at the end, and hopefully very very large
friend there, which was hard. I liked that.
Yeah,
I love seeing Punisher and Daredevil work together, which is very cool. And just really classic Daredevil shit going on. Bullseye being the one who's personally taking down a close friend of Daredevil, working for Vanessa, not Wilson. That's Vanessa, which was really, really sweet. There's just, I love bringing in McDuffie. I love the dating the therapist. Was her name Julia? Was that her name? I can't remember.
Let's see here.
I might be way off there. Heather. Yeah.
Heather Glenn.
Mission Impossible brain, maybe.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
we're covering Mission Impossible on the Sentimentalist currently, and there's a character named Julia, which I'm assuming is where I pulled that from.
The brunette, the brunette, protector. I don't know, love interest. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, no, all these storylines were like, I thought her storyline was going to culminate in a little bit different of a way. I thought it was going to be her, I don't know, figuring out who he is and telling him like, it's like, I see, like your true self is actually Daredevil, and like I see that like Matt is an act for you, sort of a thing. But we didn't. I don't think we quite got there. And seemingly she's joining the Fisk side, or I don't know, or like she's at least, I don't know, power might just be getting to her head. I don't know. But definitely a different route for her character than I thought we were going to be going down.
No, it was actually it was pretty close to what I expected of her. I did not think she would be cool with Matt being Daredevil. He realizes she would definitely not be cool with Matt being Daredevil. I did not anticipate the making her the liaison for mental health. What I do think is that she will not be on board with a lot of what she sees, though, and I think that will cause problems eventually. Because I do think that Heather is a good person. I just think that she just didn't, she was privy to their to their love life a little bit more than anybody else could have. So she's seen a more human side of Fisk than anybody has, and she also seemingly hasn't seen anything. She's basically buried her head in the sand when it comes to the actual politics, it feels like.
Yeah, and she does. I think she's also on the, Matt isn't at all the best boyfriend whatsoever, not the best partner at all. So like I think she's kind of just like anti Matt, right now, and kind of like doing whatever Matt says, kind of like just doing the opposite sort of thing. So I wonder if it is just a little that like the relationship problems is just making her think that this is a better idea and stuff. But yeah, I thought at least she, she got the worst of the worst with who's Bastion, or at least his name there. But what was his
Muse?
Muse, thank you. Yeah, like got the worst of the worst with masked people, and seeing that it can, if you're a bad person, it can lead to you being even worse with a mask. You feel like you can do even more, sort of thing, and everything. But then Matt, I felt like, is the polar opposite. It's like, oh no, he's actually only putting on the mask to protect the ones around him, not even truly himself. Like he is protecting his own identity, but so that he can protect everyone else around him. So it's like, and if she, that's why I really thought Matt was just gonna eventually tell her, like, no, fuck, I saved you, sort of thing, or like I am, like how, like I, like it's almost pissing me off that he's still holding it in, and that she hasn't figured it out, being so like how I feel like she has actually figured it out. She's just waiting for him to say it. Is maybe the idea, because
so you feel like she's like egging him on whenever she says things like Daredevil and Muse are the same.
Yeah, like is like, and because she's waiting for him to say it. Like she's like Matt, like she knows all the I think she's seen all the signs, like him just being out late and coming back with random bruises or having excuses that don't make sense and don't line up, and defending Daredevil a whole lot. Is like she's a therapist. I feel like she's like she even tells or am I maybe I'm confusing something else, or like she's been doing this for so long that she can nope, that's Last of Us, actually, different therapist. She can tell whenever someone is lying. Yeah, wrong therapist here. But I feel, I don't know, at least to me, 80% she knows. I feel like I'm much more on the side of her actually knowing, and just waiting for Matt to finally confirm.
I feel like the blind thing overcomes any sort of suspicion.
I think fair.
Anytime anybody has any suspicions about Matt, they're like, that can't be true, though.
He's blind.
He's blind.
Yeah, it's like, how like, the fuck? Yeah, that's fair.
That's why, like, anytime anybody's ever thought anything about Matt, they end up going, but he's blind. Like, that doesn't make any sense. How could he possibly do that?
Man, truly the best superhero disguise is just maybe, even if you're not blind, just act blind, and then,
nobody will ever think. No, but that's what's awesome about Matt Murdock, man. I loved the way they paralleled Kingpin and Daredevil this season. The way they are repressing their alter egos, who they used to be. And the way that they get out those little bits of themselves whenever they can. Like he goes and eats dinner next to the guys keeping in a cell, and he goes up to his roof and swings around his weapons and shit. I really, really love that. And I think that anytime they did the like intercutting of them having conversations with people, it was just so perfectly edited. There was a lot to like, man. I loved him throwing himself in front of a bullet for Fisk. I think that was a really, really incredible choice. I love Fisk's response to it, kind of being like, let's kill him, let's make him a martyr, that would make he'd be a hero, and it would bolster my image, Yeah,
this political rise, of a guy who used to be a criminal and now is, has a lot of people rallying behind him and such. No way they're trying
very
to,
passionately. Yeah, no,
I don't know.
There's not at
an
all
assassination
a real
attempt
world
maybe,
connection.
on
There's
them.
not at all a real world
I don't know.
connection.
It feels,
to that.
there's something clearly there. But yeah, I don't know. That was a perfect story. The fact that is even part of the story there, and then intercutting.
And the way they're dealing with crooked cops and stuff, like that is a tough subject matter to even begin to parse, and they're doing a lot more than I would ever think Marvel capable of doing in that regard. Now they are still both sidesing it, they are, there's good apples, there's bad apples, all that good stuff. And that's, fair. I wouldn't expect less from Marvel there. And it's also that is real. There will be good ones, there will be bad ones. It is what it is. But the use of excessive force and the turning off of the body cams and pulling shooting a guy and then pulling his hood over his face so that he's a masked vigilante, like that's dark shit. That's dark shit that would happen if this was a thing. This isn't. And I really appreciate them taking it there. I think that's I think that's gutsy, and I think it's really paying off for them. And I think that they do a lot to make that hit hard. I love the way they have the crooked cops adopting the Punisher seal, which is a real thing. Like expressly.
Yeah, that's actually real.
A thing.
And then, but at least thank God we got the scene of him sitting down in front of all of them, calling them pathetic and being like, "You fucking
Frank
honor
Castle
me."
fucking hates them, dude.
Oh my God!
Famously, even in real life, like the motherfuckers who wear up, like the cops who have Punisher shit.
Let's go.
The cops who have Punisher, like the Punisher famously doesn't like cops. So it's so funny that cops have adopted that as anything.
Wow.
It's so good, and I love a sequence where Punisher does get to kill a bunch of crooked cops. Fucking awesome.
Yep. Ooh, okay. I forgot about this until just looking at the cast list. The young BB Urich, the news on the ground, the little intercuts of the street, interviews was awesome. And
being Ben Urich's, what was it, niece or was it daughter?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I think it was. I might be confusing the other little girl that had, Hector's daughter that, looking into her father's
That was
death,
Hector's. That was Hector's niece. I think BB is Ben's daughter.
I think, So, I don't know. That was really cool. That was just like, oh, sick. And then like her storyline is really like her having to tiptoe the line of like playing the game and doing what Fisk says, but also, she's working in the background. She has other names she publishes stuff in, and stuff like that. And
it's good stuff. And one of my favorite additions is Michael Gandolfini.
Michael, let's see, who's
he's the young guy who Fisk brings on as his deputy mayor. That's Tony Soprano's son in real life. James Gandolfini's kid.
Okay. I'm like, wait. Tony Soprano.
It is not Robert Eiler who played Tony Soprano's son. Okay, no, it is the man who played Tony Soprano's son. And he looks and sounds exactly like him.
Oh my, I'm never going to be able to unsee this now. Now that I know this, it's over. It's like, oh wow. And
there's a part whenever he talks to BB about like what she's going to do, and like she's going to do it. He says like there's something that I need you to do, and it's just where you're gonna you're gonna publish it under this. It's gonna go this way.
Oh my God, you're so right.
And she's like, oh, is that a threat? And he's like, no, it's a promise. Like he does the whole thing, and I'm like, oh my God, he's a spitting fucking image of his father here.
Goes into that meeting where it's like, oh, insane. Good to know. Mayor Fisk wants to know, or whatever the people think about his
Mayor Fisk wants to know what everybody thinks, Yeah, insane. All right, I'm going to take that down. And he's so good. He's so good, man. And he perfectly encapsulates that type of guy. Because we we're all too familiar with this type of guy currently, and I think that it just perfectly captures it to a T. And I think that there's a lot to like around the mayor's office, just in terms of what they're playing with story wise. His campaign manager, his chief of staff, her kind of betraying everything she stands for and staying at Fisk's side and all that. Like it's a heart-wrenching part of it whenever Gallo dies and it's his skull crushed by Kingpin in front of a bunch of people.
They took it to the fucking... They did Game of Thrones it, actually. They Mountain and the Vipered him and just blew his head up. Yeah, that was crazy. They made... It was brutal. Like, I mean, the fight, like, whenever Matt lashed out and kind of just beat the shit out of those two cops and smashed him into the table. Like, broke a dude's leg, you know, just jumped on it. I don't know, like, the was
blood splatter that ended up on the freezer during that fight, I thought that dude was dead. I was like, there's no fucking shot that guy lived, right? He did. He's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Matt really took it to the limit, though. I mean, an inch of everyone's life.
I mean, whenever I loved the opening whenever he pushed Bullseye off the roof of the bar. My God. Like that, like scream and then just like shoving him, like fuck it, you know, like I don't even care anymore. Like it's so good, and that's why I think that they obviously needed the rewrites. You know, Charlie Cox has said a couple times like we are in a much better spot than we would have been, and Vincent D'Onofrio felt the same way. That's why, like, I just kind of trust that if Charlie Cox is going to do it, he feels confident that it is an honorable adaptation of the character or an honorable continuation of the character. And I think that's exactly what we got here. I think it's a perfect sequel to Daredevil. I think it operates as a new beginning also. I don't think you have to have seen Daredevil seasons 1 through 3 to watch Daredevil Born Again. I think you should. I think it provides a lot of good context, but I do think that you could just jump into it knowing Daredevil is a superhero and he's dealing with villains and these are his homies and all that stuff, you know?
Either way. That's why I was at the beginning, whenever I opened and was glazing the shit out of the show, it's like this. The standard is the Marvel standard as generic TV. This is still good. This is still really good.
It's very
TV.
good TV. Yeah,
but like
it's good TV.
As Marvel goes, this just surprised the hell out of me that this is actually like that they can still sit down, write some really like it was more of the mirroring and how every episode felt. Every episode was very thought out instead of it being parts of a movie. You know, I'm not watching the bigger parts of a movie in one.
It was incredibly episodic. It worked like TV. Yeah. And I think that is the key difference is that every week felt like an episode of TV, not an act in a movie.
It was, I don't know. There was mirrors, like parallels every week between either Fisk and Daredevil, I don't know, Matt and them, or so there was some parallel, something going on, and it was always super satisfying every week, but then still leading on to the climax we had at the end. And
God, Black and White Ball was so fucking sick. That's like, I really do think that might be my favorite episode whenever they're all there gathered. You know, we got the swordsman back from Hawkeye. You know, he's confirmed that he is now being a vigilante also, which is cool. We got Kamala Khan's dad.
What's her
Kamala
dad's
Khan.
name?
Yusuf.
Yes, Yusuf. Yeah, just a bank
Yusuf
teller.
back as a bank, bank
that's
manager.
cool.
You know, that's very cool, and loved that episode. I really did. The St. Patty's Day. You know, all the streets are blocked off. It was a great idea and great execution. You know, he gets to be a hero without being in the Daredevil costume. It's super cool. Yeah, and I'm like, there's a lot of fun stuff that we could probably see with Daredevil in the future. You know, and there is legal stuff that prevents Wilson Fisk from being in movies, which sucks.
What? Oh,
yeah.
Damn. It's a Sony thing or...
Yeah, it's something like it. I don't know what the actual law is, but I'm assuming it's a Sony thing since he's been in a Sony movie.
This is so annoying.
But yeah, the legalities are all just a nightmare. But I do still think the effects he's having on the city should be felt in other things. You know, the fact that New York is under martial law needs to be a thing in whatever next is set in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be like, New York's under martial law, and then we're also in New York. Like, no, it's not. Fuck it.
Can they mention him? Like, can they?
Yes, they can mention him. Yeah, Mayor Fisk can be thrown out and like all that good stuff. But I think there is expressly he can't be in the movie.
I see. Damn. Yeah, I wonder if they could show a thing on the news, something on TV where he is saying something. Is that not even allowed?
I mean, he's still in the movie.
Yeah,
I imagine it would be the case where if we get like Spider-Man, which is coming in 2026, I believe, right? Or is that 2027?
Let's see.
I think it's 2026.
They just had the name release. What was it? Brand New Day?
Yeah, something like that.
It is July 31st, 2026. So yeah.
Okay, so that is next year. It will be after Daredevil season 2. Which is another thing as well. So maybe this is all resolved by the time we have the next thing set in New York. I don't want it to be, though. I want this to be an extended, because that's what we could do that makes this feel like comic books, is the overarching thing going on in the background while the heroes still do their shit is like, oh, Mayor Fisk is cracking down on vigilantism. Like, I would love if Spider-Man was trying to deal with something and the anti-vigilante task force is trying to take him out at every fucking turn. You know, like the police are after him. That's something we have not had with Spider-Man in a very long time.
I wonder if that's why they're going to college. Like, that's why they're going to MIT, to Massachusetts. They're going to Boston or whatever, is because they have to avoid Fisk. It's like Spider-Man would obviously have to deal with Fisk. But I don't know, maybe he is in MIT watching over MJ and Ned, but then he's like, he hears about New York being under martial law, and he's like, I have to go home. He's like, I
don't think he goes to MIT.
Oh, he doesn't. You don't think he'll just watch over him? You don't think he's not going to follow?
No, I don't
he's
think.
Just
I think he's got bigger responsibilities. He's got an apartment in New York also,
That's
and
fair.
is swinging around New York at the end of No Way Home.
That's true. Okay, valid. I guess I just thought he would be, I guess it is, they did forget about, I don't know. It feels weird that they might just not be in the next movie, or not the main group, or the main core. But I guess it is is he a whole new trilogy, or is that unconfirmed?
I'm not sure if it's another 3 movies.
So just, that I don't want to get that in my head, but it just feels weird that they, I don't know, that he just would lead. I don't know. He did I mean, the ending is there, and now I'm talking too much about Spider-Man, I feel like, and not.
No, it's okay.
Daredevil.
It's all New York. It's all Marvel.
But yeah, it feels like they have to address this isn't a celestial in the ocean hand, whatever that can be brushed. That we just didn't go to the ocean. This is New York.
This is in New York. Every superhero is in New York. That's the thing. Is that Hawkeye, Kate Bishop. New York, Kamala Khan's in New Jersey. That's right across the bridge. There's a little too much going on in New York for it to be ignored, I think. But it's just something that could really provide an interesting background context, I think, and I would love if that they keep it going until they can work out something legally to get Wilson Fisk in a movie and make him the villain.
Because he's trying to push all this stuff through his charter or whatever, through
the idea of trying to open his own city-state is fucking awesome.
No, does Trump and or Ivanka have a weird charter? Do they have some of this shit? Is
Who
this
knows?
Yeah, I feel like this was hey, look into this. Look, hey, we might be having a similar situation, but I think it's my question is season 2, Fisk is like, I love the city. I'm going to do great things for what is his plan? What is Fisk's city state? Is it just maximum protection and police forces up and that's it? Or is there something else, going on? Is there going to be I don't know. Like, is it just going to be utter chaos on the streets and just but it feels.
See, that's the
like,
thing. I don't think that's what he wants either. Like, it's a. It's. I mean, one of the things that they cite expressly is that they could legally launder money through there indefinitely, if
Billions.
they wanted to do. If they wanted to it.
Yeah.
So it would compound Wilson Fisk's power while still being the mayor of New York. You know, the important thing is that he doesn't necessarily want everyone to know it's his city state. You know, it's just he is building that part of New York. It's some secret charter that nobody legally had found besides Foggy. You know.
Yeah, it's like that's why I didn't want to look into the Trump charter. Is like, I don't want to stumble upon a secret and then have the FBI at my door.
I doubt you'd be able to just Google that anyway.
I think it would be, yeah. If this was known, I don't know. I feel like it would have been pointed out from like just Daredevil, like being in the talk and like I don't know. But it's such a small part of the show that maybe not. I don't know. Is like that maybe people aren't connecting it to Trump super hard, and that's just me.
Right,
like seeing Fisk.
No,
like
a lot of people are connecting it to Trump. It's a very real comparison going on right now. And naturally, I think the man who was never a politician who gets elected to public office, he's been convicted of felonies. He is, he's been found guilty in multiple courts of law. The comparisons are there. It's not like it's anything unknown. You know.
Man, it would have been hilarious if Matt pushed Fisk and he just got grazed in the ear by the shit. You know, incredible. I would have. Oh my god, I would have lost it.
That would have been pretty on the nose. That would have been pretty on the nose.
Yeah, maybe then they would have gotten shut down. I don't know. Maybe then they would. Disney. I don't know. That's probably a no go. Actually, probably a big no go. To mimic an assassination attempt, But yeah, I don't know. The show, it was so on the nose that like you might as well give him a Trump wig, you know, and not make him bald. I don't know, just have it just be him the whole show. But at least it's crazy that they did go there. They went like Muse actually like taking a child and so, I was like, oh my god, this is a Disney show and this is a kid wandering into a tunnel.
There's there's a lot of stuff I didn't think we were gonna do, and we did it. You know, this is the first time that they've ever lived up to the it's brutal. You know, like they said that Moon Knight would be brutal. They said that like they kept being like it's brutal. It never was. This was the first time they were like I was like okay yeah, that is somebody siphoning blood from a child. You know.
Yep, and using all the blood for the murals and paintings and all these things, and it's like, that was creepy.
Muse is a great character, dude. I love the comic run Charles Soule, his run on Daredevil, where Muse was introduced. It was about 10 years ago. So fucking good. Strongly recommend. But
yeah, that was, I don't know, and that's just a small part of the show, like Muse. I don't know, that was just kind of like, I don't know, maybe 2-3 episodes was it?
Yeah, it worked. It was in the background for 3 or 4, and then he was like the main villain for a couple. You know, I really appreciated that formatting too. The constant teasing of him. I loved the Hector Ayala storyline. Absolutely heartbreaking.
God damn. Yeah, that
bring a white tiger in.
Oh, feels like so good. It's like, oh, maybe he did get out. He's back on the streets, you know. He's back, and then just boom. And to compound
the sadness, that actor actually passed away too.
What?
Yeah. After the filming, like it's just a bizarrely sad situation there.
Oh my god, that is terrible. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, but I don't know. In the show, it was terrible. I don't know. And then the daughter being like, come on, Matt, you know, like, what, I thought you were supposed to help, you know, what the fuck are you going to do? I'm like, oh my God. Like, yeah, it was, dang. I mean, for Marvel TV, I did not expect. I was surprised. I think that was, one word, I feel like, to kind of summarize my feelings about it is surprised. Like brutal nature. It was
really strong, man. It was really strong, and I think that it does give me a lot of hope for what season 2 is. I think that we've got a good one here, and I anticipate we'll be getting it for as long as they're willing to do it. You know, it's not like it's. I think it's ripe for You could do a lot with this, I think.
Yeah, this is how you get around the Fisk caveat, is you just keep them in this, keep this running.
Keep making
and give
this,
it,
yeah.
Yeah, it just is the background for New York, and then the movies is the big heroes dealing with, this. It kind of makes you have to watch Daredevil, but yeah, I don't know. It's the MCU. You have to fucking watch 84 movies anyway, so
yeah, it's already too interconnected. They might as well lean all the way into it. Fuck it, man.
But yeah, I don't know. Very, very. I don't know. I feel like the setup, like season 2, could be better than this season. Like it could. I don't know, but maybe him being in the suit more actually will be a detriment. I think I liked him being out of the suit a whole lot.
I liked him being out of the suit a whole lot, mostly because I appreciate what they're doing with the acrobatics and the degree of what Daredevil is capable of when he moves. I do not love the way it looks, though. I think it looks super weird when he's in the suit. A lot of it is very obviously not real. Yeah. And I think that's... I don't expect it to be real by any stretch, but like... Yeah, it can be a little clunky and strange and very very too video gamey in the movements for me that I can't really see past it. But it happens to be a very good looking show though. Whenever he locks in and we get those dolly zooms and stuff, I love that. I love the bullseye blue hue he sees everything through. I loved the flashing like that. The black and white ball really was one of the most gorgeous episodes of this show for sure, with all the lights flashing and everything. I love the music that swelled at the end of that and the red lights and gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, they love to have light pierce through a window and have it be foggy. Foggy, he was there in spirit. The fog was there almost in every room that they could have it in because they wanted those sunbeams to be showing. But yeah, I don't know. Another surprising thing is how it looked. I don't know. I was like, at some points, it was maybe a little too on the nose of like, hey, we're trying to be really artsy right here, and we're shoving it in your face. But then I don't know. Just it seemed that they really did think about what each shot was looking like, and lighting was obviously very important, and yeah, it ended up just making for a Marvel show. Like, yeah, I'm trying to think is like. It's not WandaVision, I'm nowhere near the levels I was, feeling during that.
I'm not as excited about it as I was WandaVision. It's undoubtedly better than WandaVision, though.
So yeah, that's a weird. I was a different Marvel fan, that's for sure, during WandaVision, and Loki and all that. But this is written wise, like it's a different subject. I don't know. It's a subject matter that I like a whole lot more. It's real. It's a lot more. I guess just political. I don't know, is maybe kind of what it comes down to. Is the I don't know. They're hitting a lot of good beats in the show while still keeping. Oh, and
one thing that does make sense is that Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, the showrunners of this, essentially were very heavily involved in Loki and Moon Knight, which are the two other ones I would say are that level, or close to it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Loki's just dealing like. I feel like my enjoyment from Loki was truly the theory, and all of the crazy, predictions that you can make and all of that. But the enjoyment I'm getting is I'm not theorizing really anything. I'm just like enjoying the show. I mean, it is just good TV, man. It is.
So, and I'm very happy with it. I think that we got a lot to look forward to with this angle in the MCU, and I think that I can't wait for season 2 next year.
Yeah,
but
see, hopefully more Karen. That's my only want. I guess.
I think we will get more Karen in the next season. I think that she's on that squad, she's on that team. We're gonna rebel. It's gonna be good stuff. But I loved that last little monologue he gave too. That was so strong. But yeah, I can't wait for season 2, and I think that's about all I've got to say about season 1. So we'll be back actually next week. Funny enough, The Last of Us episodes 1 through 3. We're going to cover those next week here on Penny Bloom. We do have Death by Television, our TV podcast. But currently that is branded as Fire Pod with Me, a Twin Peaks podcast. So we're going to keep that Twin Peaks exclusive. So any new shows coming, that's, we just did Daredevil Born Again. We're going to cover The Last of Us a little bit. After The Last of Us, I'm sure we'll get the new Game of Thrones miniseries, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That will get covered here. So you got a lot to look forward to. We will be back. Not with any degree of actual frequency. I can't promise you a weekly episode on Penny Bloom, but we are all over the place. We got the Sentimentalists. We're covering Mission Impossible right now. We're covering Twin Peaks. Fulcrum comes back with Andor this week. And we're doing this with The Last of Us the next couple weeks. So, yeah, we got a lot to look forward to. You should join us at every step of the way. Leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. And I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, justice is blind.